Worst engines or not. Today we are talking about the Toyota 5.7 liter 3UR FE engine. So this engine is a member of the UR engine family, which is a family of V8 engines from Toyota. And this is the largest member of the family. It's aluminum block, aluminum cylinder heads, dual overhead cam engine design. This engine was released for the 2007 year model and was utilized all the way up until 2021. You can find it in your Tundras, Sequoias, Land Cruisers, and the LX 570. It's a pretty large, powerful engine out of the gate. They also offered a supercharger kit for it that brought horsepower up to 504. And Toyota actually held this event where they towed a literal space shuttle across the Manchester Bridge with this engine. So lots of good press for this one. Nothing is perfect. However, just as a disclaimer, these are considered common problems if you do run into a problem, which on these engines is not very frequently. The most common thing that we hear about, which again is not very common, is probably going to be the cam towers leaking. So your cam towers are located under your valve covers, and instead of using a gasket here, Toyota actually uses a sealant. So over time, that sealant is going to break down and does eventually start to leak. Like, the bigger part of the problem here is that where it starts to leak means that oil is leaking directly onto your intake, which is definitely a big safety and fire hazard. So that's where the larger problem comes into play. We have heard that this entire family of engines really has issues with the water pumps failing early. Luckily on this engine there is a weep hole for the water pump, so that means that if your water pump does fail, it will not be completely catastrophic. There will at least still be some cooling happening in the engine. Some of the smaller, more uncommon problems would include failure of the secondary air injection pump. We've heard of coking on the piston rings, which eventually leads to high oil consumption. And we've also heard of failure from the crankcase ventilation system. But as I stated earlier, these problems are few and far in between. We've heard some complaints about gas mileage. However, when you look at the list of applications that this engine is in, I don't know that I would really be looking for fuel efficiency from them. Overall, this is a solid engine choice. If you take care of this, this thing should last you a long time.